Calling for transparency, 13 House Intelligence Committee members sending a letter to President Trump to declassify the heavily redacted FISA warrant used to surveil former Trump campaign aide Carter Page. My next guest signed that letter. Here now is Congressman Chris Stewart, House Intelligence Committee member. Can I ask you first, have you seen the unredacted version?
Oh, yeah. I've spent hours and hours reviewing it at different times.
So does it say anything that couldn't be revealed to the American public and contain sources and methods and would make a life dangerous?
And no, it's not going to surprise you, and most Americans learned that by and large it doesn't. I think there might be literally in a stack of pages 4 inches thick, there might be a few sentences that I would suggest be redacted, but almost everything else should be released. And look, we've seen the history of the FBI and Department of Justice where they redact, and it isn't to protect sources and methods, it's to protect themselves from embarrassment. And I could give you example after example of that, where they're very clearly, and then when it is redacted, if someone takes the time to read it, they go, what in the world is this about? There's nothing secret in this. There's nothing that would indicate, as I said, agents or methods. It's just simply embarrassing to them.
Is that the case in this one, that what's covered is embarrassing?
Well, certainly it raises questions, and very serious questions. And, you know, a good example of that is a Republican memo, which I know has been like in January, February. It seems like forever ago. But, you know, we were accused then of saying very, very clearly, they said, you're going to endanger human lives. You're going to expose methods and means and agents. And yet when that was released, that 2 pages, I defy anyone to show me anything in that was secret. It's very clear that they were trying to protect themselves, not trying to protect their methods.
So if that's the case, why do you think the president doesn't declassify it and release a version that's barely redacted?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons. Number one is I think he's hoping that this process will continue and that eventually those of us on the Intel Committee and a couple others that are pushing Department of Justice to declassify it will be able to prevail and we'll be able to do it ourselves. And the second, I think, is it's just politically very difficult for him to interject himself into what has become an extraordinarily politicized issue. And I think if he were to do that, it would be viewed as self-serving. And, you know, look, we've seen
that happens every day, though,
that
he injects himself into something and everybody says that it's self-serving. You know, he's hoping that you guys can get it revealed. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, maybe he wants it to continue because when it does get revealed, it, you know, has a punch. It's close to the election. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll keep an eye on it. I want to ask you, though, about the whole issue of declassifying President Trump, taking away security clearances. President Trump looking to revoke the security clearances of 6 former Obama officials. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, look, I would not support that for just purely political or partisan reasons, but some of these individuals have to answer some questions. And I think that if the result of that is they lose their security clearance, I'd be not only comfortable with that, I would think that's the right outcome. Some of them, there's no question, leaked classified information. There's no question that some of these individuals were not completely honest when they testified before Congress, before my own committee. And some of them, I think, acted at least unethically and maybe even illegally before the FISA courts. Now, if we were to conclude a process, an investigation, and concluded that that was true, and I'm confident that what I just told you is true, then I think one of the remedies would be for them to lose their security clearance. But once again, it has to be after a process and for a reason.
How many in that group of 6?
Well, a few, and I don't want to be specific, but I mean, there's a few, and it's not just one. And look, once again, Director Brennan, of this former CIA director, he has revealed himself as an absolute partisan political person, a political hack, I would say. And I wonder, how in the world was he selected to be the CIA director when he is so partisan? But that alone is not reason to do that. It has to be because of some type of behavior, and I think in some of these instances, they did exhibit that kind of behavior that would result in this.
Congressman Chris Stewart, thank you. I hope you'll come back.